Hello. Hello. Sorry, I was a couple minutes late. And yeah, it happens when you teach like, 5 classes and then you're like, okay, I need a little reset here before I go live. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone. And I just wanted to give an update on my Outschool class that I had yesterday. It was really great. I had an Outschool class yesterday. Now, this was a bread making class, and I do have some classes on Outschool. They're kind of different types of classes. I have a pet sharing class, a knitting class. I have a baking class, and I have a few other. Hello, Luann. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you for coming, and Evelyn. And so I really hadn't gotten many bookings. Like I got a lot of finger knitting bookings right away. October, I had a really good month without school, but it's kind of dropped off. But I kind of have been having a hard time trying to figure myself out on Outschool, to be honest. So I did join Lainey Goff's course. She has a course that she's doing. It's like a monthly subscription, and you can be a part of that course, and then she is sharing ideas on how to just kind of organize yourself for Outschool. And so I'm working on that. So I will be kind of streamlining my ideas, trying to figure out what I'm actually doing. I did open up some beginning reader classes. I didn't get any bookings for that. And I got one student for making bread. So I went ahead and I taught the class, and it was awesome. I was really glad that I did it because it kind of gave me some good practice on how to do it with the camera and everything. It's kind of cool in Zoom. I have a new computer, so I could do, you don't really need a green screen to do a background. So I did a virtual background, and that was kind of fun because I thought, I could be in a really nice kitchen. I don't have to be like in, make sure my house is perfectly clean and everything. But it didn't make it perfect because when you try to show stuff, the green screen was a little weird. So I had to turn it off and just go, this is me, this is it. I don't have a 5-star kitchen, but it was a really great class, and I thought it was really great, and I had a great time with it. But then after the class was over, I was like, oh my goodness, I hope she wants to come back because maybe that wasn't a good class. And so we messaged each other back and forth a little bit. And then later on last night, she said, I have a friend that wants to take the class. Do you mind if she takes the class with me? And I'm like, sure. So yeah, so maybe I'll get more students for that class, and that's an ongoing bread making class. And so it was really good. We only did just regular bread. I didn't do anything fancy. It was just, how to make bread to start with. And I wanted to show you guys what the picture that she sent me. So this picture here was my bread. This is the one that I made. Actually, my 2 boys did it with me. They weren't completely thrilled about it, but I was really glad that they did it. It was their home ec class. They learned how to make bread. And this is the picture that my student sent. So she made her bread, and she said it tasted great. So I did have one little glitch. So I had one little glitch that happened while we were doing everything, and I was really nervous about it. And then I forgot to mention that we put sugar in with the yeast and everything and the liquids in a bowl. And I talked about the temperature of the yeast and how to make sure it's the right temperature and all that. And then we put the flour in, and I forgot to put the extra sugar and a little bit of salt in with the flour mixture. And then you're supposed to mix it up, and then you put the two together. And so she messaged me after class, and she's like, I think we forgot to put the sugar in, because I had told her what ingredients to have and she had them all set out. So I was like, oh my goodness. So I went back, looked at the recipe, and I'm like, you're right, I think we forgot. So I said, well, just put it in. Since it was at the beginning, we just needed it right in. And so, and I did the same thing. I actually had 4 loaves because the recipe that I gave her was 2 loaves. And then, so I had 2 of my boys that did it. So I took 2 of the loaves and I put them in the freezer. So I made 2 loaves of bread, and then now I have 2 more, like 2 more loaves of dough in the freezer. So do any of you guys make bread? So next week, so then this is an ongoing class. So I told her that she can choose what we want to make. And I gave her the choice of baking powder biscuits or cinnamon rolls. And she chose baking powder biscuits, but then she changed it to cinnamon rolls. So we'll make cinnamon rolls. So I'm not going to make them like from scratch. I won't make the dough from scratch from start to finish. So I eat bread. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have her either bring some dough that she already made, or she can get frozen bread dough. That's how I've done cinnamon rolls before, is you just buy the frozen bread dough and just make sure it's thawed out for class. And so then we'll do the second step. So I'm going to send her a paper with the information on it. I've made bread in the past, but haven't made any in a long time. I need to make some fresh bread. Yeah, and so a lot of people were making bread like in March and April. A lot of people were buying. We didn't know what was going to happen with, pandemic and everything. So a lot of people were buying out the flour. They were buying out the yeast and all that. So I kind of stocked up. So I have a lot. But we've still been able to buy bread and stuff. So I haven't really made a lot of bread, but I also have a bread machine, and that's a really good way to make quick bread as well. And the thing that I like to do about teaching making bread is that it is pretty easy. Like, because we don't do it a lot, we're busy people, and we don't really make bread very often, we kind of think it's hard. But it's actually not very hard. And that's kind of what I've taught home ec for the last 7 years. And I kind of like to teach my students how to make the bread. And then I like to teach them all the different things you can make with that bread dough. This bread dough here we used about 6 cups of flour. We used some sugar, some vegetable oil, some salt, and some yeast. And that's really about it. And then you want to get some good butter, right? When you make the bread, you want to put butter on it. So, and I bought a whole bunch of dough way back in March. So I mean flour. So I have flour, I have honey, and I explained to her you could use honey instead of sugar. So there are a few substitutions that you can make for the bread. And then you can use this bread dough. You can make cinnamon bread, all different types of flavors of bread, and just use that as your base of the actual bread itself. And we talked about, the yeast is supposed to be warm. So the yeast is supposed to be like 110 to 115 degrees. So if you're just getting it out of your tap, then you want to just have it a little bit warm to your hand. If it's too hot, it will kill the yeast. If it's too cold, then the yeast won't grow. So it's really pretty easy. And it was a 40-minute class. So we basically just made the bread dough, and then I told her what to do after. So after class, she was supposed to put it in a bowl, cover it, let it rise for about an hour, and then half it, and then separate it, put them each into a bread pan, let it rise another hour or more, depending on how fluffy you want it. Like mine was a little fluffier. And then you bake it on 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Do you have a link to the Outschool class you are taking that you mentioned earlier, the ongoing class that helps you organize and list classes? Okay, yes, that is, I don't have a link, but if you send me your, I can, I'm in the process of asking her for a link. The woman that I'm taking the class from is Lainey Goff. She does a lot on Instagram. I don't even know how I saw the video, but she has a lot of videos on YouTube, and she's very successful with Outschool. And so she has a subscription class that she is offering, and she is offering it. This is her, Lainey Goff, and she's offering it to teachers that want to kind of streamline their Outschool classes. So she's just teaching us how to kind of make it our own business, and how to just be able to set up our classes so that we have repeat students and that kind of thing. And so if you just, you can look her up, maybe send her a message through YouTube. And yeah, so she has a class, and she said that she's accepting more applications, I think, because she's going to close it out at a certain time, because she also has a group where she coaches and stuff like that. So if you message her, then she can give you the information, or you can message me and I'll give her your information. And so she has a lot of really good information. She's very good business wise and things like that. So I thought it definitely couldn't hurt. And you can join with a subscription and then stay in it as long as you want. Like, say you only want to do a month, you can just say, okay, I'm done and I'm out. So you don't have to commit to anything. I think she has like a once a month class coaching meeting on Zoom, but it's also like recorded. So if you can't go to the meeting, you can watch the replay and stuff. Yeah, she makes a lot of videos and she's pretty good at it. Yeah. And she's really good at marketing. So that's kind of what I was looking at, like how to make my classes and how to make them attractive to other people. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, because I would really I was a little skeptical. I'm like, maybe I don't want to do Outschool. Maybe I don't like the stress of waiting for students. But when I taught this class yesterday, the bread making class, it was just so awesome. The thing I like about Outschool is that when you create a class that other kids want, you get the kids that want to learn. And so this girl was so easy to teach. Like, you kind of guide, and she was doing it. It was like, it's different than when I taught home ec in school, where you have these students, they're required to take the class. They don't necessarily love it, but they have to do it for credit for the school, right? But this is different because they choose the classes that they want. And so once I taught the class, I was really excited about it. I'm like, oh, and bring a friend. Yes. And so then I also went to, there's an Outschool discounted Facebook group, and there was someone interested there. So the next class I can have more students. Maybe I can add to that class. So I figured I'll leave it as an ongoing class, and then we can just make different types of bread. I have a whole notebook of all different recipes that I've done in the past, and they're ongoing. So as long as the people come with the ingredients for the day, it should be fine if they jump in at any time. And then I can repeat, let's make bread again. And the next time it will be easier. Once you do it once, it's easier after that. And I thought I might even ask the girl if she wants to make a cornucopia for Thanksgiving. So that would be in a couple of weeks. So that's not my actual cornucopia one-time class, but I could incorporate that into my bread making class. So I love Outschool, but I can't figure out when to offer classes, nights, mornings, and so on. Yeah, that's the same with me. I did this class was at 12 in the afternoon and Eastern, and she is in, I think she said Minnesota. So she was way out west. So she was taking it in the morning. I was taking it 12 noon. I have a knitting class today at 2, and she's also Eastern. She wanted to make, we're actually not even going to be knitting today. We're going to be doing crocheting. We're going to be crocheting from grocery bags. Like you make the grocery bags into strips, and then you make it into a long, like, it's kind of like plastic yarn, and then you crochet a mat. So that's what I'm going to do today. She asked to do that. So yeah, so I just had one student for this couple weeks, and so I gave her the choice of what she wants to do next week. And teaching one student isn't much money really, but it gives me experience in teaching, and it also connects me with the students. It gives me experience on, you know, teaching for the class, and it gives me a place to build from, right? And also I can build up my 5-star rating. So I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm thinking for Outschool, my passion seems to be in the home sciences, like cooking and, knitting. I should learn how to make crochet mats out of plastic bags. Such a cool idea. Yeah, a friend of mine makes them for homeless people, and they are not, like, they take a while. I made one with my home ec class, and we had like 6 or 7 students, and it took all of us working together to get one done. Can I show you? Of course I can show you. Of course I can show you. There are videos on YouTube about it, but of course I would rather teach you myself. So I will try to take some videos of what I do today, and I can show you guys. So, I mean, you could even do it on StreamYard live, right? Because I can have up to 5 or 6 students. So we could meet up here. The first thing you need to do is collect a lot of grocery bags. Like, you collect the grocery bags that are plastic. And if you have other colors, that's good too. Like, most of ours are kind of a brownish color. But if you find other colors, then incorporate those. You could ask your friends and neighbors if they have any extras. And I want to learn how to crochet with plastic bags. It looks so much fun. I will tell you this, okay? I made the mat, okay? And I'm like, what am I going to do with this thing? I did it with fabric scraps that were torn in strips. Oh, that's an idea too. And that might be easier to wash. The thing with the plastic bags are that you can, they're already kind of garbage, right? So you're kind of recycling. How big is the crochet hook that you use? Okay, that is a really good question. I will show you in a minute. I will go get it. I will run and go get it because I think it's in the other room. It's like the biggest metal one. It's not huge. You can use a bigger one if you want. I bought the biggest one I could find, like on the spur of the moment, and it seemed to be good. I'm not sure of the letter on it. I will go get it in a minute. And so what you're going to do is you take the grocery bags, and I'll make a little video because I have to make one for my student. And you flatten them out, and then you just cut strips about this wide. And then you're just going to get as many strips as you can. Just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. If you have a rotary cutter, that would work too. You could put the rotary cutter down and just, cut easily with that. You could even put a few bags down, and it doesn't have to be completely exact. You want them somewhat the same width, but it doesn't have to be exact because you're going to kind of scrunch it up anyway. And then what you're going to do is you're going to loop them together. You don't want to tie them together. You just kind of loop them together, and then you wind it up and make a big ball. and then you just start crocheting. And I found that I don't want to make too big of a ball, maybe like a ball about this big. And then you just make, like when I was doing it with my students, we had an assembly line going. The strips are about this wide, maybe about 2 inches, and you're going to kind of scrunch them anyway. So you don't want them too thin. And you can kind of vary the colors if you have different color bags as you're looping them. Okay, so how do you loop them? Let me find something that I have here. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so I'm going to show you my crochet hook. Hopefully it's in here. And while I'm looking for that, I'm going to show you this. Say these are the loops, okay? You're going to make sure that they're in their loops. They're not going to be strips. They're loops. That's why you want to fold it out, and you want to make sure that they stay in loop form, because in that way you're kind of having a double is that what I'm doing? Oh, that is a good question. I'm gonna have to look that one up again. So now I'm thinking I want strips. Yeah, that's a good question. I have to redo that one. I'll have to rework that because I'm not sure if I want it in. I think I do want strips, and then you just cut like a little hole in it, and then you kind of loop them. So I'm thinking of looping it like this, where you have the loops, and then you just kind of go like this. And then you just keep looping them together. So you can do that if you want to have it double strength, or you could make strips and you could make like a little hole and you could do kind of the same thing. But yeah, I think you want to do it like this. And then you just keep kind of looping them together like that. Kind of like that. Only, of course, they're bigger. So it's kind of like a chain. So you're not tying them together or anything. So you don't want to have like knots and stuff. So what I was going to say is I made one. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. A friend of mine, she gives hers to homeless people, and they do take a long time to make, especially if you do it by yourself. And the thing is, they are very soft. Like say I had one on the floor here. I put it by my bed and I just stood on it. And like when you get up in the morning and you just put your feet on the floor, it's very comfortable on your feet. It's really funny how you wouldn't think that, but it is. And I'm trying to find my crochet hook here. Usually I have it right in the bottom of my purse. I don't know why I keep it there, but it's just kind of one of those things that if I put it somewhere else, I will lose it. And hopefully it's still here. Here it is. Someday I'd like to do a game on what do you have in your purse? What is the weirdest thing you guys have in your purse? I have Tic Tacs. I don't know. Maybe I don't have it today. It's a really big hook. No, I can't find it. I'll have to send you information about it. That's very strange. I've kept it in here forever. All right. Well, sorry, guys. have everything except for the kitchen sink in here, and I don't have that. But it's not a huge hook. And the other thing is, I was thinking, since I'm doing, this is kind of a finger knitting class, you could even do it as a finger knitting project and just use your finger as the crochet hook. So I thought that is also a possibility, which I may end up doing today because it's sort of a finger knitting class. But yeah, so there are a few details I have to work out, I guess. I was thinking that is going to be really easy. But yeah, so I wanted to let you guys know too that I have connected my iPad to my new computer. And this is a really great way to show pictures. I can, like, I have Cam Twist. I'm back to using Cam Twist again. And so I can have my iPad next to me and I can show pictures, which I just did. And I just wanted to, let me see, show you guys, like, you know, say you want to show your kids some scenery and you can click it off really easily. Then you click it back on and you can show your pictures. And this is a lot easier than holding your phone up to the screen. And so you can show the students the pictures. These were pictures that I took of the winter. This is my mom's house, and I loved it how the flag was out like that. And so I just, you know, if you want to show your students pictures, is a really good way of doing it by connecting your iPad to your computer if you have a Mac computer. So if you are interested in that, there is a group called VIPKID Cam Twist. I think it's Cam Twister, something like that. And there is a walkthrough on how to set it up onto your computer. And then you can be showing pictures, and you can also do it this way. Like, you can make the picture big and make you small. And you don't have to do sharing your screen or anything. And from what I understand with the technology is that you don't use as much, like, your whatever's going on inside your computer is less than like at ManyCam and other things like that. So it doesn't really take much out of your computer, and it doesn't cause any kind of lag or anything like that. So it's a really good way to be able to show rewards. I do show rewards also. Like something like this, I have rewards on the Stars to Apples. And there's also rewards like this where you can drag the pictures like this. And like I said, you can also switch the video source like this. And then you can switch it back with just a press of a button. So I can do this. I could add as many dogs as I want. I can make the dog bigger. And that's a really fun way to do rewards. You can also do this with Google Slides. Anything that I put on my iPad will go into that box. So that is a really awesome way to be able to show other visuals. Now, say you want to, like I'm making bread and I want to have 2 cameras, I could also put this on a camera setting. I can just go to my camera and I can also open the camera and switch. Okay, no, I don't want that. So switch the camera, which is right here, I think. Yeah. So I can switch the camera, and so then I can have something where I can show my hands like this if you want to, or I could put this on a stand so that I'm showing a book or something like that. And for books, you can also like put pages on this. Like, say you have pages in your photo section, you could also do that. So that was Jamaica. I was thinking about Jamaica the other day. So there's a lot you can do by hooking up your iPad to your computer, and it's very easy. So I know some of my friends have Macs. So All right, so I just wanted to share a little bit with you today, and I do have to get back to work, back to other things, life. And I thank you guys for coming, and I will definitely work on um, the bag program, and I will get more information. Whoops. I will get more information to you. Now, also on Cam Twist is kind of nice because you can adjust the lighting without lights. There's a setting here so I can go darker or lighter, and it's called Gamma Adjust. So that's a really cool feature also. This is what I would be without the Gamma Adjust, and this is with the Gamma Adjust. So you have to kind of play with it a little bit. And so if you're interested in any of that information, let me know and I can give you more information on that as well. All right, so thank you guys for watching and thank you for the thumbs up, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.